Good afternoon, OTYB alumni. Tina Mitchell here with your OTYB Success Program. And again, the space has been created for us to get together once a week and work on one challenge, just one thing at a time, in the spirit of one tasking versus multitasking. Also to give an opportunity to really be able to implement everything that you learned during the burn. My hope is too that you'll be able to connect on a deeper level with other OTYB graduates and connect in the spirit of one timing. So what I wanted to talk with you about today, we're on week 4 of the Success Program. And again, I'm here every Wednesday at 12 o'clock sharing a challenge for you for the week. So we're on week 4. If you've missed any of the previous weeks, you can go back and listen to those if you'd like to. But moving forward, again, I'll be here every Wednesday with you. So this week is about the habit to one-time your business. So during the 8 weeks that we spent together, I shared with you what my commitment was to you for being a part of the One Time Your Business 8-week burn. And my commitment was to help you create a habit, because once you create a habit, everything else will change around that. But I think what a lot of people do is try to focus first and foremost on the activity, where that's why the results are not sustainable, is because you need to first work on the habits needed to actually get the results that you want. So your business and your life are the sum of the habits that you've created over time. So if you want to change habits that you have, create better habits to get the results that you want, it's going to take it time. So if you're not getting the results that you want in your business or your life, that means that you need to create different habits, or again, change the ones that you currently have. And that's why it takes time. That's the most difficult, is when you've already created a habit, it took you a long time to actually get that habit. So in order to change it, you need to give it time to do that. So we're going to talk about today about the habit that you need to one-time your business. Remember, if you want to do things to get different results than the majority are receiving, if you want to have a different business, if you want to live a different life than the majority of people that you see out there, you need to be willing to do things differently than the majority are doing. And this all stems from the habit. So sometimes it's hard to model or to see other people to be able to model what they're doing, because you don't see them everywhere. Remember, the one time in your business is about the 1 percentile, the best of the best, which means it's challenging to find that 1%. So you're around 99% that are not getting the results that you want. And it's all around the habits that they're doing. So keep that in mind when you're looking at other people and doing things completely different than maybe what we might be talking about for the challenge for that week, is because you want to get different results than what they're getting. So with every good habit, great habit, which one time your business is a habit, there's a mind shift behind that habit. So we talked about the mind shift during the burn. I just want to bring these back in because we're going to focus on one of them. But here's a reminder of what for this week. Here's a reminder of what the mind shift is behind creating a habit to one time your business. First is rejoicing in your small successes. The second mind shift is taking the hard road. Remember, the hard road represents change. And in the spirit of one timing, it's all about change. And then the last mind shift is to embrace your failures. So this is what we're going to be talking about for the next few weeks. This week, we're going to be focusing on just one mind shift, which is rejoicing in your small successes. And then for the next 2 weeks, we'll go back to the other mind shifts. And then we'll have everything that you need in spirit of one timing and the mind shift behind creating the habit for that. So again, this week's challenge is all about rejoicing in your small successes. Big changes always start with small steps. The hardest step is the first one. It's just getting started. So I want you to remember that the starting point and getting started is going to be the hardest step that you make. You cannot leap up a flight of stairs. You have to take one step at a time. So this week I'm going to challenge you to take that first step in rejoicing in your small successes. You must crawl before you walk. It takes 21 years to get to the age of 21. I'm going to be 50 this year, and it takes 50 years to get to the age 50. Believe that every small effort matters, because it does. It matters in the biggest way. The smallest things will connect to the biggest results and changes that you're going to see in your business and in your life. Make small changes and they'll produce a compound effect. I shared with you during the burn about the compound effect. The compound effect is one small step, a next one, and the next one, and it allows you to get up to the top of that flight of stairs. Or one change that you make compounded by all of the changes or decisions that you make moving forward will produce that big change or result that you want in your business, in your life. The big changes most of the time are not attainable or sustainable, but the big changes are, the small changes are reachable and manageable. So the big changes most of the time are not attainable or sustainable, but the small changes are reachable and manageable. We talked about how crash diets don't work. Why is that? Because they're not sustainable. So remember, I shared the story about tennis shoes. If you want to make a healthier decision in your life, put your tennis shoes by the front door, walk past them for a week. The next week, go ahead and make a decision to put those tennis shoes on. The week after that, go ahead and take a small walk. After your small walk, and only when you get into the next week, go ahead and get in your car and drive by the gym. Don't go in and just drive by it. And then finally the next week, go into the gym and start working out, because you've got to go through that process. Have you ever tried to make a healthier life change and you just decided to go right into the gym and start working out? And it doesn't go so well because you didn't take those small steps. Majority of the time it doesn't, because you didn't take those small steps in order to make it manageable. So that is in business as well. And that's why rejoicing in your small successes or small steps that you're making to get to that game changer that you want in your business. The small steps that you take today may not produce the results today or tomorrow or next week or even maybe next year, but they are producing and building that compound effect. So remember the Chinese bamboo tree? It takes 5 years for the Chinese bamboo tree to break ground, and then in 6 months it grows, in 6 weeks it grows 90 feet tall. Everything that's happening underneath the surface, the watering and the fertilizing of your bamboo tree, are these small steps and the small successes that I want you to focus on this week, because this is building the foundation that you need for your business or your life to be able to sustain that growth. So keep that visual. I love the Chinese bamboo tree. And if you were a graduate from an earlier course and you did not see the Chinese bamboo tree video, I'll actually post it on the Facebook Live today. So please watch it if you haven't seen it. It is a powerful visual and a powerful story to be able to connect to of what this means for you this week in embracing your small changes, because I will tell you that majority do not. And that's why they don't have the game changers in their business, is because they didn't take the small steps to sustain the success. You don't have to be great to get started. You just have to be started to be great. So again, all of this is around embracing and rejoicing in the small successes that you see this week. So what takes small steps to get big results? You kind of think about some different things in life that we know are not accomplished overnight. Becoming a success overnight, really, did that really happen for majority of people that have had success? Majority, no, they were not successes overnight. And if they were, it didn't most likely go so well for them. You know, lottery winners statistically show that 70% would have been better off without winning the lottery, because yes, that was an overnight success. But to become the best of the best at what people do, and I recognize as an overnight success, never was. It was all of the water and fertilizing that they were doing for their dream to be able to manifest itself, and then to be able to sustain that success that they had. So what about fitness? It's small steps in order to be the best of the best in fitness. You can't get there overnight. What about a marathon if you want to run a marathon? I mean, I've heard many stories of people that have had huge goals, Ironman, and think about all the preparation, all of the small steps that they had to make, the decisions, the small decisions that they had to choose to do differently. During the burn, I talked to you about the candy jar at the receptionist desk. It's a small decision on whether or not you decide to take that first piece of candy, but that first decision, that small decision that you make that first time around is going to produce the results, and whether you're going to continue to do that every time you walk past the receptionist desk or not. So you have to go through the small steps. And so that's why this week is going to be so important about rejoicing and visualizing that end in sight, because you have heard the plan of success is to have a big goal, a big vision in sight. Don't focus on all of it, all the little steps that are going to take to get there. Focus on the big, and then the one step at a time, in the spirit of one tasking. So pay attention to the first step, rejoice that, move to the next step, rejoice it. Keep the ending goal in mind, because that big dream, that big visualization, as we talked about how to wrap up your evening, and an important part of that is visualization. That big dream at the end of what that looks like, it's very important to focus on that every second through the way, through the process. But working on one step at a time and rejoicing and having huge success, because you know that is getting you to the growth of your bamboo tree. What about education? Something new that you want to learn that doesn't happen overnight. You have to go through the small steps and decisions that you're making. Starting a business. We all know that as entrepreneurs, that it doesn't happen overnight. And those small decisions that you decide to make, and this is in the spirit of one timing, and that's why one of the mind shifts is rejoicing in your small successes. It's all these shortcuts that you decide not to take. And we're going to get into the hard road. We'll talk about that. So I'll leave that for next week, because we're going to talk about the second mind shift. Next week is going to be the challenge about taking the hard road. But this week, let's stay focused on one tasking and one mind shift, which is rejoicing in your small successes. Think of your business like a sculpture, because you know the small steps and processes it takes to create a sculpture. That's what you're doing with your business and with the life that you want to live, is building your sculpture. So it takes time. And in order to continue through that process and to give it the time that it needs, you have to rejoice in the process from every one little step that you make. Mastering a craft. Outlier is a book. I don't agree with everything that he talks about in Outlier. Some of it is really about you have to be born at a certain time in order to be successful at certain things, which I won't go off on a tangent there. But what in the Outlier does talk about is to master something, it takes 10,000 hours of it. So if that doesn't show you in itself of rejoicing in small, look at every successful person out there that you might look up to in music, movie star, all of the successful people. It was hours and hours of work to get there. And if they had not rejoiced in the small successes, they would have never made it to what they were able to accomplish in their business and their life. Also, another great thing about rejoicing in your small successes is you're rejoicing every second of your day. You're happy all the time, most of the time. We talked about being able to, last week we talked about the challenge of how you how to start your day and end your day, and in the midday doing a refresher to keep yourself in a great space. But you've got the best chance to be in a great mood and to be appreciative and happy for everything that you have and what you're doing when you're always rejoicing. Because if you're waiting for that big miracle, or you're waiting for that big success, you are going to be waiting a long time. And you may not ever see that success come together because you missed the opportunity to rejoice in your small successes. What about a marketing plan? Now, you may look at a colleague, let's use a 1 percentile for an example, and come up with reasons why they got there, a connection that they had, or they were just lucky, or whatever that reason might be that you hear people talking about. The reality of it is, I bet if you look at any of the 1 percentile, you will be able to connect it back to some type of marketing plan, multiple streams of marketing that they have. And if you go even deeper than that to find out how long they work that marketing plan, every single step during the process. Also, again, the mind shift is embracing your failures. We're going to talk about that not next week, the week after, because I'm going to spend 1 week with each of the 3 mind shifts. But through that process, there is definitely embracing failures, because every small success that you have of equal, you're going to have a small failure as well. So embracing that too, so you can get to the next success. That's because of the balance in the universe, the yin and the yang. So you have to accept and embrace both of them. And we'll get back to that again, not next week, but the week after. Building relationships, your strongest relationships that you have. Yes, you may be kindred spirits and have that love connection right away, or bring in interview a team member and realize, oh my gosh, this is just the perfect person, and that intuition was correct. But really being able to build that friendship and that connection in business. And we're going to talk about that in another week's challenge, all about touch points. The good things take time, and you've got to go through the process in building the relationship. So all of these are just examples of things that you already know do not happen overnight, but instead take time. Writing a book. You all know that that I'm an author, and I will tell you, if I did not rejoice in just the success of having that thought, I would have never pushed to the next step of actually having a thought, and then the next thought, and the next one. And I love driving. I want to say I'm focused on the task at hand right now, but I want to shift here just for a second, because I love driving. A lot of magical things happen for me in my car. I really believe that your bright ideas, your aha moments, your nuggets, key nuggets that come up, they either happen for you in your shower, or they happen for you when you drive. For me, it's when I drive. That's when all of my aha moments, or maybe when you're laying in bed before you go to sleep, and that's not the best time. It means that you actually didn't wrap up for the night, which we talked about the last couple weeks in wrapping up your day. So if you do have aha moments and nuggets and things as soon as you hit your bed before you go to bed, and you're always afraid of missing out, and maybe you've got a notepad by your bed, I would really encourage to go back to last couple weeks where I talked about wrap up. How to wrap up your day and wrap up your evening, because most likely you did not get yourself into that space. But in the morning, it's a brand new day. And so reason why it happens in your shower or it happens while you're driving is because this is your alone time. The time when you're by yourself, unless you're driving with someone else, and you don't really have those aha moments when you're driving with someone else. It's by yourself. So for me, it's when I'm in my car. And one timing, make sure you use a voice app. All phones, you can voice note yourself. So take notes. I'm talking to myself, voice talking all the time, all of my amazing ideas. And so I've got a really safe place that I can build them or keep them and go back to them. But my point being is, if I was not rejoicing in that small success, every time I had something that I was like, oh my gosh, that is something I have to talk about in my book. And it could have been just a few words that really connected with me. One Time Your Business, the brand of my program, and the name One Time Your Business, it'll bring me to tears just sharing this, just thinking and bringing myself back to this moment. That was an aha moment in my car. And I was so excited. That's rejoicing in your small successes. One Time Your Business, that's it. And I was so excited, it just connected with me. I had no idea that One Time Your Business was actually going to turn into a workshop that I taught. Well, first it started with just a presentation at a real estate office, and then I started doing it all kinds of offices, and then I turned it into a 3-hour workshop. And then after my 3-hour workshop, by the way, SCAR, Claudia over at SCAR, they're going to be endorsing my One Time Your Business, so it'll be a 3-hour workshop as well, off point there. But and then from my 3-hour workshop, people asked if I did coaching, and I thought, wow, why don't I put a One Time Your Business 8-week burn together? And then during the 8-week burn, you were asking, really having support to be able to implement. And so now the OTYB Success Program, that all came from just One Time Your Business, words coming up when I was driving in the car. So hopefully that one example, and I have so many as you do as well, if you embrace your small successes, where that will take you. And you never know, because they all don't take you to huge game changers in your business, but you will know because it will stay with you. Remember we talked about last couple weeks about your gut, your intuition. I call it my navigation system. It'll never steer you wrong. In that split second, you can see that that is still exciting for you, and so take it to the next step and continue to take it to the next step and rejoice and embrace that success that you're having from that one step. That is what this week is all about. So I hope that I am able to communicate with you how critically important this is to your success in your business and the success in your life, in just this one mind shift, embracing your small successes. Building wealth doesn't happen overnight. And again, I talked about the lottery winner. If you did overnight come into money, statistics show it doesn't turn out very well a lot of the time. And you know, people that come from wealthy families that have terrible lives, I believe, because they didn't have the foundation here within themselves in order to support that massive control or power that they have with what wealth can come with. So the great things in life, critically important that you start with the small steps and that you do not try to take the shortcuts or to cheat the process, because majority of the time it will not come out well. Think back to a success that you've had. So I want you to think about this week. So here's would be part of the challenge for next week. Is in your getting ready, starting your day, I want you to think of one big success that you've had in your life. It doesn't matter how far back it was, whatever feels the best, whatever comes up first. One big success. And then just take a few minutes to reflect on all of the small steps it took to get there. So until our time together next, you should have 7 of those that come up for you. Now, also, I want you to think about all of the great ideas that you've had that never came to fruition. And I bet that you gave up somewhere during the process, which results from not rejoicing in your small successes. Again, we're talking about brace your failures another couple weeks. So let's actually do this exercise during your reflection. So we talked about wrap up, the wrap up for your day. Part of the wrap up for your day is reflection. That's around that's your journaling. That's when you're going to make note of all the positive things that happen and all the negative things that happen within the day. But also in this time and space, I would like for you to think of a big success that you've had any time. And the reason I'm asking you to do this is because by doing this and in the spirit of this mindset, a mindset is really, it takes work to actually embrace and make it yours. And so this is an exercise that will help you to realize the amazing things that you've done and all the small steps that it took to get there, because that's what's going to help you in rejoicing Now you could say, yes, I'm happy and I rejoice in my small successes. And I want to challenge you to see, do you really take a step back and really embrace and rejoice that moment? Please do, because I promise you it will have a huge impact on the things that you want to accomplish in your business and in your life. All right, so next week we're going to talk about the next mind shift, which is taking the hard road. But again, this week it's all about focusing on the rejoicing in your small steps. So we have 5 minutes left here, and I see hi Lee, how's it going? Good afternoon, back to you. So in our last 5 minutes here together, are there any questions that you have, or a small success that you'd like to share while we're here on our Facebook Live? I just want to get a couple minutes here just to open it up for anything that you're thinking or anything that you might want to share. And as a reminder that I'm here for you during the week, if there's any support that you need, just somebody to share ideas with, or to talk things out, or if you have any challenges when it comes to rejoicing in your small successes, remember that's what One Time in Your Business is all about. And the second mind shift that we'll talk about next week, which is taking the hard road. The hard road is the challenges. Challenges is making change. Embracing your failure is all about the challenge and embracing that. So if you need support here from me this week, please feel free to reach out. And I encourage you during the week to share anything that comes up for you in small successes that you're having. And I really do want to be able to create a community of OTYB alumni so that you guys have the support with each other, be able to pass ideas back and forth. So if there's anything that comes up for you this week, a problem or a challenge that you're dealing with in your business, and you want to be able to get a solution, please make note of that, or post it on the private Facebook group, because again, this is a private space. Everybody that is here and part of the Facebook group has been a graduate of the OTYB 8-week burn. So maybe you can get a solution from one of your peers. All right, don't see any questions or any live chats going on, so I'm going to say goodbye for the day, and I just appreciate you so much, and I'm here for you, anything that I can be of support, and make it a great day. I'm just looking outside here. There's no rain, so it's a good day, right? All right, thanks you guys. See you next Wednesday, 12 o'clock, right here for the OTYB Alumni Success Program. Bye. You have a wonderful rest of your day as well, Terry. Thank you so much for being here. 2 weeks in a row. Love you. Bye.